Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely rethink how we look at cybersecurity. I want you to forget that narrow view of just installing antivirus software or setting up a firewall. Instead, imagine we're architects, and we are building an impenetrable digital fortress. This fortress is going to protect the systems, the networks, the digital identities, and the massive troves of data that literally run our modern lives.
It's a serious question. Seriously, think about it for a second. What actually stops the digital world from just completely collapsing every single day? Why don't our banking systems fail, our hospital records disappear, or our power grid shut down? The stakes are incredibly high, and the sheer volume of threats out there is staggering. The answer isn't magic. It's a highly structured, meticulously designed framework of defenses.
All right, let's dive into the blueprint for today. We're going to cover the cybersecurity blueprint, then we'll break down the famous CIA Triad, that's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. After that, we'll check out the gates with the AAA framework, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with accountability.
Starting us off, Section 1, the cybersecurity blueprint. So to build our fortress, we really have to understand the philosophy behind it. Cybersecurity isn't just about writing better code, it's this huge, complex, socio-technical system. What does that even mean? Well, it means you can't separate the tech, the servers, the encryption, from the people using it. You could literally have the heaviest, thickest steel doors on your fortress, but, if a guard is easily tricked into handing over the keys, the whole shebang fails. It requires multiple layers of defense, perfectly balancing technology, people, processes, and governance.
Moving to the innermost vault of our fortress. Section 2, confidentiality, keeping secrets safe. Confidentiality is exactly what it sounds like. It's all about making sure information is only accessible to authorized users and systems, keeping secrets safe from prying eyes. Whether it's a student's personal data or your own bank details, confidentiality means that if you don't have the clearance, you don't get in. Simple as that. Let's look at how this breaks down in real life. Imagine a phishing attack on a university portal. An attacker sends a fake email, tricking a student into entering their password. The vulnerability here isn't a software bug, right? It's human trust, weak awareness, and a lack of multi-factor authentication, or MFA. To defend this vault, we have to implement controls like email filtering, login alerts, and most importantly, MFA. That way, even if the attacker gets the password, they still can't breach the vault.
But here's the catch. There is this massive built-in tension between strict confidentiality and usable availability. I mean, if our only goal was 100% confidentiality, we just put our database on a hard drive, lock it in a physical safe, and drop it to the bottom of the ocean. Perfectly confidential, right? But also entirely useless for actually getting day-to-day work done. Security professionals constantly have to balance locking secrets down while making sure users can still do their jobs.
Which brings us to Section 3, integrity, trusting the data.
If confidentiality is the vault, integrity is the structural soundness of the walls. It means our information and systems stay accurate, complete, and completely unaltered. Unless, of course, it's by an authorized action. Because think about it. Data is practically worthless if we can't actually trust it. If someone can quietly change a medical record or a bank balance, the entire system loses its value.
So how does an attacker destroy that trust? Take a SQL injection attack in a results portal. The portal asks for a registration number in a search box, but the application carelessly treats that untrusted input as a database command. An attacker types in some crafty code and bam, suddenly they are altering student grades. The impact is a total loss of integrity. The defense here? Developers absolutely have to separate code from data using things like parameterized queries and strict input validation.
All right, on to the final pillar of our triad, Section 4, availability, always on demand.
Availability guarantees that systems and data are accessible right when you need them. Because let's face it, your system could be perfectly confidential, perfectly accurate, but if a cyber attack knocks it offline and you can't reach it, the fortress has failed.
And this isn't just about websites loading slowly. This has severe, real-world consequences. Take a small healthcare clinic getting hit by ransomware. The malware locks up the clinic's shared folders. The human impact is immediate. Doctors literally cannot access patient schedules or medical histories. To defend against this loss of availability, the clinic desperately needs robust controls like network segmentation and crucial, offline, immutable backups so they can restore operations without paying out a ransom.
So the CIA Triad gives us the what we're trying to protect, But how do we actually manage the flow of traffic in and out of our fortress? Section 5. The Gates. AAA Framework.
Let's walk through the gates of our fortress chronologically with the AA framework. Think of this as the user's journey. Step 1 is authentication. You walk up to the gate and the guard asks, "Who are you?" You prove it with a password, a biometric scan, or a hardware key. Once verified, you move to Step 2, authorization. The guard checks a list and goes, "Okay, what are you actually allowed to do here?" Maybe you can read a file, but absolutely no deleting. Finally, Step 3 is accounting. While you're inside, what did you do? Every file you open, every change you make is logged. It's an audit trail tracking your exact movements.
That accounting step is the perfect bridge to our final concept, Section 6, accountability, no denying it.
Just imagine hearing this excuse. Well, it wasn't me. We all use the same administrator password. Okay, it sounds kind of funny, but in a security environment, that is a literal nightmare. If an entire team of students or employees shares a single login and something critical gets wiped out or leaked, you have zero way of knowing who actually did it. Shared accounts are just a recipe for total chaos.
So the crucial point is making sure people can't just deny their actions. First up, we have non-repudiation. The big question here is, can this action be denied later? By using digital signatures and secure timestamps, a user just can't say, "Nope, I didn't authorize that transaction." Second is accountability itself. Who is responsible for the actions? We enforce this by strictly using named, individual accounts and separating duties. No more hiding behind a group login for sure.
Building this digital fortress isn't just a one-time project. It's a continuous, living practice of balancing confidentiality, integrity, and availability while guarding the gates with strict authentication and accountability. So, I'm going to leave you with this one provocative question. If your digital identity was compromised today, who would be held accountable? Think about your own shared passwords, maybe your lack of MFA, your digital footprint. Your fortress is only as strong as its weakest gate. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep your defenses up.